Hello students, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope all of you are doing great, and so we'll continue from the part where we have left yesterday. So we'll continue with the numericals. Now we have today in this video we will be doing five numericals, and these five numericals are the most hardest one. Okay, see what happens in the exam also. Sometimes you practice numericals, but you practice the easy numericals and then you go for exam. If your luck is good, then the easy numericals comes and you happen to do the sum and get the good marks. But many times, means 80% of times, the numericals which comes from this chapter calorimetry are the hard ones, are the ones where you have to practice the difficult sums. So that is why if you see this today's lecture, that the five sums that I will do, definitely out of the five, any one or two will come. Sure. So let's begin. Now see, as I told you how to read this sum, you always, in a sum of calorimetry, there will be a hot body along with a cold body. It has to be a sum like this. So as you see the first line over here, hot water. So what I'll write? Hot body. Hot body. Now the hot body is of mass 200 gram. Is of mass 200 gram. Now this is water. So the specific heat capacity of water is given as this. So this is the value of C. C, I'm writing M1, and C is equal to 4200 joule per kg per Kelvin. Now very important thing from over here. Very important thing. You can see the mass and also you can see the specific heat capacity. Are both of them are in the same unit or different unit? See, this is in gram and this is in kg. So they are in different units. So it is your responsibility to convert both of them in the same unit. Now here is also a small technique. How you are supposed to convert? Will you convert this gram into kg, or will you convert this joule per kg per Kelvin into joule per gram per Kelvin? What you should do? See, according to the question, if specific heat capacity of water is given in joule per kg per Kelvin, you are not supposed to change this value. You cannot take this value as 4.2. If in the question is given 4200 joule per gram, joule per kg per Kelvin, then that is the specific capacity. For that, so you cannot change this part. You have to change this 200 gram. So you have to change this 200 gram. So 200 gram in kg becomes how much? 200 gram in kg becomes 200 by 1000. 200 by 1000 kg or not? So 200 gram I converted to kg. I think you know how to convert a gram into kg. Divide by 1000. Now if you want, you can reduce it, but as of now it's better not to do. Now this body is kept at what temperature? The body of hot body is kept at 80 degrees centigrade. So it is kept at 80 degrees centigrade. So this I will take as T1. And the final temperature, they're asking me to calculate the final temperature. So I don't know the final temperature. So final temperature, I'll keep this final temperature as T. Final temperature is T. So what is the delta T? What is the delta T, or I will say take delta T1. It is the upper temperature minus the lower temperature, means higher minus lower. So hot body is kept at 80 degree. When hot body is mixed with cold body, the resultant temperature will come down. So it will be 80, and this temperature I don't know, so I have taken this temperature as T. So it will be higher minus lower. So it will be 80 minus T. So the delta T1 will be how much? 80 minus T. Clear? Now talk about the cold body. Talk about the cold body over here. Cold body, what is the mass of the cold body? Given as 300 gram. But we know, since the specific heat capacity is given in joule per kg per Kelvin, I have to convert this gram also into kg. So this becomes 300 by 1000 kg. So this is my mass 2. Now the space, now this is also water, so this is also water, this is here written cold water. So cold water, so that is why the C remains as it is, 4200 joule per kg per Kelvin. So specific heat capacity remains the same way. Now what is the temperature of this cold body? The temperature of the cold body is given as 10 degrees centigrade. So temperature of the cold body is given as 10 degree. And final temperature, it is going from 10, the cold body is at 10. As I mix the hot with the cold body and hot body, the temperature will be rising over here. So this is my higher temperature, which is T, and this is the lower temperature, which is 10 degree. So it will be T minus 10, that delta T value, higher minus the lower. So delta T value, so final temperature is equal to final temperature, which is T. So delta T2 is equal to final minus initial, that is T minus 10. That is your delta T. So you can see one hot body is 80 degrees centigrade, the cold body is at 10 degrees centigrade. So when you mix, the resultant temperature becomes T. So what is the delta T over here? Higher minus lower. So it will be 80 minus T. 80 minus T, which I have written over here. And over there, what is the delta T? Higher minus lower. So it will be T minus 10. So it will be T minus 10. I hope you understood this part. Now what will be the heat given by the hot body? What will be the heat given by the hot body? Hot body gives out the heat. Hot body gives heat. And let's take this value as Q1. Q1, that will be what? MC delta T. We have learned MC delta T. MC delta T. But M is what? M1. And this is T1. M1 and T1. So why I have not taken C1 and C2? Because C, the value of C is same. It is 4200, over also 4200. So there is no point in taking C1 and C2 because both are same value. But for temperature they are different, so I have taken T1 and T2. But for C, since they are same, so I will not take C1 and C2. If that was a different sum, if it was not cold water, say it was cold milk, then I would have taken some other value. But since it's also cold water, it's also hot water, so water will have the same specific capacity. So that is why C I have taken over here both as C, not as C1 and C2. So this is the heat given by the hot body. And if I put the values, how much it comes? 200 by 1000. C value is 4200 and delta T value is how much? 80 minus T. Now, for the cold body, if I have to write, heat absorbed by the cold body is equal to what? M2C delta T2. This is the formula. Now, M2 is how much? 300 by 1000. C is how much? 4200. And delta T is how much? T minus 10. So I got the value of, and suppose this value is taken as Q2. Heat absorbed is Q2. And Q2 will be M2C delta T2, and heat given by the hot body will be Q1, that is M1C delta T1. So you got this. Now I have to rub this part. Now we know, according to the law of calorimetry, heat given by the hot body is equal to heat absorbed by the cold body. So by the law of principle of calorimetry, heat given by hot body is equal to heat absorbed by cold body. We know this formula. So heat given is how much? Q1, and heat absorbed is how much? Q2. Now Q1 is how much? M1C delta T1 and Q2 is equal to how much? M2 C delta T2. Now put the values. Put these values. It will be 200 by 1000 into C I don't know, and delta T 80 sorry. C is equal to 4200 and delta T is equal to 80 minus T. What about this value? This value is same as this. 300 by 1000 into 4200 into what is this? T minus 10. You got this? Now after this you need to cancel. See over there 4200 and 4200 will cancel. This 1000 will cancel. This 20 and this 20 will cancel. So what is the remaining part? So what is the remaining part? I'm writing over here. It is equal to 2 and 80 minus T, that is the remaining, and over here it will be 3 and T minus 20, T minus 10, that is the remaining part. Now just solve it. It will be how much? 160 minus 2T is equal to 3T minus 30. Now put the T's on one side and numbers on one side. 30 you bring it this side. It will be 160 plus 30 and 3T. This going that side is 2T. 190 is equal to 5T. So T value is equal to 190 by 5. 190 by 5 will give you 3s are a 15 and a 38. So the T value, the final temperature of the mixture is equal to 38 degree centigrade. I hope you understood this sum. This is just the principle of calorimetry you have to apply, and these sums carry good marks, 4 marks. So it is very important you practice. Today I will do 5 sums, 1 sum finished. So let's do the next sum. Now let's come to question number 12 of your book. Again, see the sum. You have to see 2 things. Firstly, hot water and cold water. You see these 2 things and some of your confusions will be clear. As you see hot water and cold water, you make a chart. You make a chart like hot and cold. Let's come to the hot. The hot water is of how much mass? The mass of the hot water is given 300 gram. 300 gram of hot water. So I'll take this as M1, which is equal to 300 gram. Now, anything in the question mention about the specific heat capacity? No. Nothing mentioned about the specific heat capacity. If in the question it is not mentioned specific capacity, don't take any value like 4.2. Do you think this is water? So I'll take 4.2. No. Keep the specific, since it is not mentioned, so I'll keep my specific heat capacity as C only. Okay, since not given, so what to do? Keep this as C. Don't take as 4.2. Keep this as C only. Now the hot water is at what temperature? 50 degrees centigrade. So the T1 is equal to 50 degrees centigrade. And what is the final temperature? Not mentioned. So let the final temperature be final temperature. Let that be T. So what is the delta T from here? Delta T is the delta T1 if I take. It is the higher minus lower. So hot body temperature will decrease. So it will be 50 minus T. So 50 minus T. Now if I take the cold body, what is the mass of the cold body? Given 600 gram. So M2 is equal to 600 gram. Is the specific heat capacity mentioned in the question? Nowhere mentioned in the question. So C2, which is the specific heat capacity of the body, consider this as C. Now, very important thing. This is a very important part of the whole question. That is why this question is so easy. I mean, it's so difficult or say easy. You have to understand this thing. rises by 15 degree. That means what? Over here, are they mentioning that the initial temperature is 15? No. Are they mentioning that the final temperature is 15? No. They are saying from the initial, when it goes to the final, cold body is at a lower temperature. When hot body will mix, the temperature will rise. So this difference they are saying, this is the initial, final minus initial, higher minus lower. This difference they are stating as 15 degree. So 15 degree is not T1, 15 degree is not the final temperature T, whereas 15 degree is the difference, delta T, that is equal to 15 degree centigrade. So I will write delta T2. So the cold body temperature increases by 15 degree, that is why 15, delta T2. Now what is the heat given by the hot body? Heat given by the hot body, heat given by hot body, and let that be Q1. So heat given by the hot body, let that be Q1, is equal to how much? M1 C1 delta T1. M1 C1 delta T1. Now M1 is how much? 300. Specific capacity we don't know, and delta T value is how much? 50 minus T. This is the value. This is the heat given by the hot body. Now second thing, what is the heat absorbed by cold body? Heat absorbed by cold body, let's take it as Q2, and that will be equal to M2 C2 delta T2. Now what is M2? 600. What is C2? This C, and delta T2 is how much? 15. That is Q2. Now according to the principle of calorimetry, what we know? Heat given by the hot body is equal to heat lost by the heat given by the hot body is equal to heat absorbed by the cold body. So according to the law of principle of calorimetry, heat given is equal to heat absorbed, provided there is no loss of heat in the surrounding. So this will be Q1 is equal to Q2. So Q1 is equal to what? M1 C1 delta T1. M1 C1 delta T1 is equal to M2 C2 delta T2. So Q1 is equal to Q2. Now after this, I have to rub this part. Now see, just substitute the values. Just substitute the values, you will get the answer. M is how much? 300. C is how much? C1 is C. And this value is how much? 50 minus T. What about the heat absorbed by the cold body? 600. It is specific capacity is C, and difference of temperature is 15. Now after this, you just have to cancel the first important things. C gets cancelled, 0 0 0 0 get cancelled. So you can also cancel 3 1s are and 3 2s are 6. So what I am left with on this side, I have 50 minus T, and on this side you have what? 2 into 15, that is 30. Now I think everything is correct. Now this 50, this 30 will come this side, and this T will go that side. So T is equal to 20 degrees centigrade. So my final temperature is equal to 20 degrees centigrade, my final temperature. But in the question, are they asking the final temperature? No, they are not asking the final temperature. So what they are asking? The initial temperature of the cold water they are asking. So after this, how to do the sum? see, for the cold water, initial temperature was T1 and the final temperature was T and the initial temperature was T1, and this rise from the initial to final, that was given as cold water rises by 15 degree. So we know this thing because in the question for the cold water, initially the temperature was where? T1 and this is T. So it rise from this to this, and this increase was given by, rise was given by 15 degree. So T minus T1 is equal to 15. Now since I got the final temperature, this value I got as 20. So I'll substitute. And as I substitute, T1 becomes 5 degrees centigrade. So if you put the 15 this side and T1 goes that side, so T1 is 5 degrees. So the initial temperature of the cold body was at 5 degrees centigrade. Okay, so if you haven't understood, go through the sums once more. Just just put it like few minutes earlier, 10 minutes earlier, and go through the sum once more. You will understand it, what I did in this sum. Now we will come to question number 13 after this. Now let's continue with this sum, which is actually the previous kind only, not much hard. So 1 kg of water is contained in a 1.25 kilowatt of kettle. So first focus on the mass. The mass of the water is 1 kg, right? The specific heat capacity of water is given as 4.2 joule per gram per Kelvin, and the rise of temperature. See what the temperature of water rises from, very important, 25 to 100. So your initial temperature, suppose the initial temperature is 25 and final temperature is 100. So what is the delta T over here? Delta T is 100 minus 25, that will be 75 degrees centigrade. Now over here, very important, over here, look, this mass and the specific heat capacity, are they in the same unit? Are they in the same unit? No, they are not in the same unit. One is in kg, one other is in gram. So what you are supposed to do, which one you should change? Is the kg will go to, whether you should change the kg or you should change the gram? Think. What you should do, kg or the gram? I told you in the previous sum only, you are no way supposed to change this value. This value remains fixed. You cannot change this value, but you are supposed to change the mass value. So this 1 kg, if I do in gram, that becomes what? 1000 gram. Now see, to make the water go from 25 to 100, how much heat I should be providing? How much heat? So heat should be provided how much? Q is equal to MC delta T. We know this formula. Now M is how much? 1000. C is how much? 4.2. And this T is how much? 75. This is the amount of heat required. Now if you happen to solve it, it comes like something like, it comes this point and this. Acha, 42 into 75, if I multiply, so it comes how much? 210, 7 to the 14, 129. So 3150, so it will come 315123. So yes, so this much amount of heat is required. 315000. So I think this is the value of heat required. Now to give this much of heat, you cannot give the heat at a small interval of time. It will require some time to provide this 3,15,000 joules of heat. So to provide this much of heat, I require the time, and that is the question. How much time? Calculate the time. That is the question. How we have to find the time. So how will I find? we have to use this formula. Power is equal to energy by time. Now this energy means what? Heat energy only. This energy represents heat energy, which is this value. So power is equal to heat energy by time. Now power is how much? Power is given 1.25 kilowatt. You convert this 1.25 kilowatt to watt, and what? How you convert? You multiply this by 1000. So when you multiply this by 1000, how much you get? So power is equal to 1250 watt. Understood? Power is given in kilowatt, but to do the sum we have to utilize watt only. So 1250. So 1250 is equal to 31500 by T. And after this, I have to rub this thing. So time is equal to 315,123 divided by 1250. Now it's up to you how to cancel it. If you know cancellation in a much better way, you can do it. 0, 0 get cancelled. Now if I cancel by 5 25s are, and if you cancel this by 5 6 are 30, carry 1, 5 3s are 15, 0, 0. Again you can cancel, and by 5 5s are 25, 5 12s are 60, carry 3, 0. Again if you cancel by 5, it becomes how much? 5 2s are 10, carry 2, 5 5s are 25, 2. So time becomes how much? It just this cancellation of this thing. Time will give you 252 seconds. The time will come as 252 seconds. Now convert this 252 seconds into minute, and it will give you something like, I think you know how to convert 252 seconds into minutes. 60 divide 252 by 60. 4s are 240. So this is the minute and this is the second. So it becomes 4 minutes 12 seconds is the final answer to convert. So you require 4 minutes and 12 seconds to give this amount of heat. So this is just like the previous sum which I taught yesterday. If you happen to see, this is not something very different from that sums. So this was the question number 13. Now I will do 2 more sums coming from your example, which 2 are very important for the exam point of view. Okay, from the exam point of view, these 2 sums are very, very important. Now, look at this sum. This sum is a different concept from the previous sum. Although the sum is very easy, but the concept of this sum is very important. Okay, so how to explain the sum initially. Initially what happens, there is a waterfall. So there is a waterfall like this. There is a waterfall. So water initially at 20 degrees centigrade. So the water over here is at a temperature of 20 degrees centigrade. And this height of the waterfall is about 1.68 kilometer. This height. So the water initially at 20 degrees centigrade at a height of 168 kilometer. So above a height of 168 kilometer, the water is at this much of height. Now what happens? This water falls. This water falls on the ground. This water falls, and when the water falls, the temperature of the water over here is not the same temperature. This temperature will be different. Now the question comes, why this temperature will be different? This temperature, let's consider this as T. Why this temperature will be different? Now see, water at a height, what energy does it have? So at a height, every body has potential energy. Now as the body falls, all the potential energy gets converted to kinetic energy. So the potential energy of the body at this point, as it falls, it gets converted to kinetic energy. Now, as it strikes the ground, all the kinetic energy changes into heat energy. So, as it hits the ground, all the kinetic energy changes into heat energy. So, what you can say, all the potential energy changes to kinetic energy, and the kinetic energy changes to heat energy. So first the water has potential energy, as it falls it has kinetic energy, and it hits the ground, all the potential energy changes into heat energy. So you have to do the sum with this. The potential energy gets converted into heat energy. Okay. Now what is the potential energy formula? M G H. And what is the formula for heat energy? What is the formula for heat energy? Heat energy formula is mc delta T. We know amount of heat required or heat given out is given by the formula of mc delta T. Now this m and m is cancelled. So your GH is equal to C delta T. It comes. Now put the values, because I need to find the value of delta T. Put the values. G is given as 10. Height is given as how much? 168 kilometer. Convert that into meter. 168 kilometer to meter is 1680. G is 10. H is 1680. And the value of C is given as 4200, and delta T I don't know. If I happen to solve this 0, 0, 0, 0, and this cancels by 4, so delta T value comes at 4 degrees centigrade. That is the increase. So the temperature is 4 degree. This 4, so I think you understood. Potential energy changes into heat energy. Potential energy formula is mgh. Heat energy formula is mc delta T. M and M get cancelled. So GH is equal to C delta T. So put the value of G, H, C delta T. I think you know 168 kilometer in meter is 1680 meter. Just multiply 168 kilometer into 1000. So it comes like this. When you solve the whole thing, delta T comes out as 4. But remember, this is not the answer, because in the question they are asking the final temperature. Will the temperature of the water will increase or decrease? Think. Previously it was 20. All the potential energy changes to heat energy. So temperature of water will increase. So the final temperature will be T2. Initial temperature is T1, and that is delta T. Final temperature only they are asking me to find. Initial temperature given as 20. Initially the temperature of the water is 20, and the change is given as 4. When you will solve this, T2 is 24 degree centigrade. So that is the water temperature finally. So initially 20, as it falls, all the potential energy changes into heat energy, and the water temperature is finally at 24 degrees centigrade. So you can say in a waterfall, the water at a height is at a lower temperature, whereas when it falls, the water when it falls, it becomes warmer temperature. It is hot. So why it is hot? Why the cold water changes into hot water? Because all the potential energy changes into heat energy. Okay, potential to kinetic and the kinetic to heat. So I hope you understood the sum. Now the next sum is going to be a different sum, because that will be the last sum of this first part, and that sum has a lot of weightage. You have to have a lot of patience in understanding that sum also. I will be doing my best, but try to have a patience in understanding the sum. Okay, so I will do the next sum, which is example 8 of your book. Now this sum, example 8 of your book. This sum is example 8 of your book. Although the sum looks quite big, quite lengthy, but you have to get this thing that the only way you can do this sum in your exam is by reading the question. And obviously your concept about the chapter of calorimetry should be clear. then only this sum can be done. So make sure your concept is clear. The final equation where the calorimeter also comes into account is that equation I'm talking about. You know that equation, and also read the sum very properly. If you read the sum clearly, everything becomes easy. Firstly, you have to see what a piece of metal of mass 20 gram is heated at a constant temperature to 100 degree. Just first concentrate from here to here. As you read this sentence, what you understood? There is a small piece of metal that you heat it, and the temperature of that metal goes to 100 degrees centigrade, and that metal has a mass of 20 gram. So by reading this first line, first two lines, what you understood? This is what body? This is the hot body or the cold body? Think. It is heated. So heated means this is the hot body. So this is the hot body. And the mass of the hot body is given as 20 gram. Now, do I know the specific heat capacity of this body? No. Because if you read this last line, calculate the specific heat capacity of metal. So in the whole question I have to find the specific heat capacity, which is consider this as C. I have to find the value of C only. Now, what is the initial temperature of the body and the final temperature? The temperature of the body initially is 100. Initially it is 100. Don't think I'm heating it, so from initial it is becoming final. No. It is initially at 100, and when I will put that into cold water, the temperature will decrease. So initially the temperature of the body is at 100 degrees centigrade. Now as you will read the whole line, now you will come to know that this hot body has to be put inside water at 20 degree. So the hot body will become cold, and the final temperature of the mixture is 22. So this is my initial temperature, and the final temperature is 22 degrees centigrade. So delta T is equal to how much? 878 degrees centigrade. So for the hot body, I happen to calculate the MC and delta T1 value. So if now this hot body is going where? This hot body is added to a calorimeter of mass 50 gram. So you can make a small diagram. This is my calorimeter, this is the hot body, and inside the calorimeter we have what? 50 gram of water. So inside the calorimeter there is some water. So the hot body has to go inside the cold body. So if the hot body goes inside the cold body, what happens? This hot body will lose heat, and this water over here will gain heat. Along with the water, this calorimeter will also gains heat. So over here we have to consider the calorimeter also. So what is the cold body over here? The cold body right now is the water. So containing 50 gram of water at 20 degrees centigrade. So mass of the cold body is 50 gram. Specific heat capacity of water C2, that is given as 4.2 joule per gram per Kelvin. And this water is at what temperature? Look at this. Initially it is at a temperature of, okay, let's make this T, final temperature T. Initially this temperature is at 22 given in the question. 20 degrees centigrade. It is initially at temperature 20 degree, and finally it becomes at 22. So delta T will be 2 degrees centigrade. Did you understood? The water is initially at 20 degrees centigrade. When you put the hot body, the temperature rises to 22. So initially 20, as you put the hot body, it rises to 22. So difference, what is the difference? 2 degree. So I got for the cold body also, cold water, MC delta T. Now it is the third thing I have to get, the calorimeter. And the calorimeter acts as a cold body because that is absorbing heat. Any cold body will only absorb heat. Hot body never absorb heat. Now the calorimeter mass, let's consider this as capital M. Mass of the calorimeter is how much? 50 gram, because written added to a calorimeter of mass 50 gram. Calorimeter of mass 50 gram. Now, what is the specific heat capacity of the calorimeter? Given 0.42. So, this specific heat capacity of the calorimeter is 0.42 gram joule per gram per Kelvin. And now the most important question, what is the initial temperature of calorimeter? Initial temperature of calorimeter will be how much? The initial temperature of calorimeter will be same as that of the cold water. The cold 50 gram of cold water was at 20 degree. So calorimeter had that cold water, na? So calorimeter temperature will be the cold water's temperature. So the temperature of the calorimeter is same as this. So initially it is at 20 degrees centigrade and finally it comes at 22 degrees centigrade. So difference is how much? Delta T will be 2 degrees centigrade for this. I hope you understood this part. Now what is the heat given by the hot body? What is the heat given by the hot body? Let's take this as Q1, which is the heat given by the hot body. It will be MC delta T. It will be M1, actually C1 delta T1. If I put the value 20 into C and delta T is how much? 78. When you will multiply, you will get something like 1560 C. That is the value of Q1. That is the heat given by the hot body. Now, how much is the heat absorbed by the cold body? Heat absorbed by the cold body, Q2 is equal to M2 C2 delta T2. Now, for the first cold body, which is this, M2 is 50, C2 is 4.2, and delta T is 2. When you will multiply, you get 100 into 4.2, which is 420 joule. So that is the heat given by the this cold body. Now I am rubbing a little bit to get the, I'm rubbing over here only. Now calorimeter will also absorb heat because that is the cold body. So calorimeter absorb heat, let that be Q3, and that will be MC delta T, MC delta T. So M is how much? 50 gram. C is how much? 0.42, and delta T is how much? 2. Now if you multiply, how much it comes? 100 into 0.42, it becomes 42 joule. So that is the Q3 value, Q3. I hope you understood. So Q1 is what? It is the heat given. This is given. This is absorbed, this is absorbed. So I'm writing G given, this is absorbed, this is also absorbed. So as I put the hot body into the water and the calorimeter, hot body will give heat. So Q1 will be the heat given. And Q2 and Q3 are the heat absorbed. Now Q1 is how much? 1560 C. Q2 is how much? 420. And this is how much? 42. If you add 1560 C is equal to 462. And C is equal to 462 divided by 1560. And when you will solve this, let me see. When you will solve this, your value will come something like 0.3 joule per gram per Kelvin. So you just have to see hot body gives the heat Q1, this cold body will absorb the heat Q2, and this calorimeter will also absorb some heat Q3. And this Q1 is equal to Q2 plus Q3. Heat given is equal to heat absorbed. And then you just substitute. Get the Q1, get the Q2, get the Q3 and solve it, and you will get the answer of C. So I hope this was all the numericals that we are supposed to do today. So after this, we will start with the second part of the chapter, which is the specific latent heat capacity. So I hope you do all the numericals. I have done most of them. So the rest of the numericals you have to practice at your home. If you haven't understood few of the sums, what I will say is that go back to the concept, read the concept and come back to the sum and watch it once more. Unless your concept is not clear, the sums won't be coming to you. So you clear your concept and come back to the sum. By that way, the sum you can understand what is going on in the sum. So hopefully you liked my video. So if you have liked, please give a thumbs up, and doubts write in the comment section, and if you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe my channel. Till then, goodbye, take care, bye.